What if humans suddenly became immortal? Let's imagine that one ordinary morning, humanity wakes up to discover something extraordinary. No one can die anymore. Heart attacks stop being fatal. Cancer cells keep growing, but somehow never quite finish the job. Even catastrophic accidents fail to deliver the final result. You can still get hurt. You can still feel pain. You just don't get to leave. At first, this seems like the greatest breakthrough in human history. Hospitals turn into long term repair shops. Funerals quietly disappear. Insurance companies experience what scientists call a very bad week. But immortality doesn't mean invincibility. People still age, bones weaken, memories blur, minds slow down. The difference is that now, there's no graceful exit. Old age becomes a condition you live with forever, and the population problem appears almost immediately. Humans are still very good at making more humans. Within decades, cities expand upward, outward, and eventually into places that were previously considered wildlife habitats or bad ideas. Food production struggles to keep up, not because we're bad at farming, but because we've never had to feed everyone who has ever lived. Eventually, governments step in. Reproduction licenses are introduced, not because anyone wants them, but because math demands them. Immortality turns having a child into a permanent population increase, and the planet has very strong opinions about that. Then there's crime. Prisons fill up fast. Life sentences stop being metaphors and start becoming logistical nightmares. What do you do with someone who will exist forever and refuses to cooperate? Rehabilitation becomes the only option, not because it works better, but because eternity is a very long time to hold a grudge. War changes too. Soldiers can't die, but they can still be destroyed. Battles shift from killing enemies to disabling them permanently. The goal is no longer victory, it's storage. And then comes the psychological problem. Humans are not designed to live forever. Motivation starts to erode. Why hurry? Why risk anything? Procrastination becomes humanity's dominant survival strategy. Projects stretch into centuries. I'll do it tomorrow becomes a very serious plan. Eventually, boredom replaces fear as our greatest enemy. Art slows down, innovation plateaus, risk taking declines. After all, when time is infinite, urgency disappears. The most valuable resource in the universe is no longer energy, money, or power. It's novelty. Some people try extreme solutions, deep space travel, artificial hibernation, voluntary memory erasure, anything to make existence feel finite again. Ironically, the thing that once terrified humanity, death, turns out to be the pressure that made life meaningful. Without it, every moment becomes equally important, which is to say, not very important at all. So, yes, humans could survive immortality, but whether we would want to is a much harder question, because when life never ends, living stops being urgent, and eternity turns out to be far less exciting than it sounds.